just follow direction. And the time we walk away from Sudan, it was it was really a hard time for us because we were 9 years old. There's nobody older than that. And that time we don't have food, we don't have water, and we don't even wearing shoes.
You walked without
We
shoes.
walk without shoes. And you know, in Africa we have different things like snake, scorpion, everywhere. And that time we worked about 3 months to go to Ethiopia.
3 months.
Three
You spent
months,
3 months walking
3 months walking.
on your bare feet.
Yes. And that time, most of the boys, they
Couldn't
died
make
on
it.
the way. They couldn't make it.
So some of your friends died.
some they were died because there's no food. Some of them they died eat by wild animal.
Did you
It's
see
an
anybody
egg.
eaten by wild
Yes.
animal?
Yes.
And welcome to another episode of Mana Express online TV show. I am your host, May Olushola, and you know I'm always very excited and thrilled to know you are watching. I want to promise you the show this evening is going to be something you're not going to forget. Our guests this evening have a testimony, I'll call it unusual for those of us in this part of the world because they're going to share how they left Sudan. As some of you know about the fighting, and what's been going on in that part of Africa. Well, I'm privileged and honored to have actual people that experienced, you know, the war and what we hear about in the news. And they're going to tell us how they escaped from a lot of affliction and oppression. And I don't want to share too much because when I heard this testimony, I was in awe for a number of days. So I'm going to go on and interview them. You know what that means? That means get everybody in front of the screen because we're going to hear what most of us cannot comprehend humanly. So join me in welcoming to the show Mr. Santino and Mr. Steven. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Use the microphone. That thank you was too low. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Good. I didn't hear yours, Santino.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very good, very good. I'm just going to go on and jump into your testimony. First and foremost, thank you very much for coming on the show at such short notice. I couldn't wait for you to come share your testimony with the guests, with the viewers. So thank you very much.
You're welcome,
You're
man.
welcome.
Okay. I know you left the Sudan some years ago. And what was happening in Sudan and why did you leave? I'll start with you first.
Actually, a lot of people don't know what is going on in Sudan. There's a war going on now for almost 30 years this year.
30 years.
Yeah.
What caused the war?
And the cause of war, actually, they have a lot of reasons that causing the war. But the main thing, the way I understand it, is about religious and other things like mineral.
Who are the people fighting the war? When you say religious, is it Christians and Muslims or?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like Muslim, they need everybody to be to believe what they believe. And we know when God create everybody, you believe what the God create you to believe to. But when somebody force you to believe what you don't want to believe to, you cannot accept it. And that's what is caused a war between Southern Sudan and North. And now it's still increasing now, like West now, have the same problem now with the North. Just only the North who is now want to turn everybody to believe what they believe to.
I see.
Yeah.
So what happened to, did both of you know yourselves in the Sudan?
Yes.
Okay, so what happened?
What happened was, when I was 9 years old, it was happened that the government has come and attacked the villages.
Okay.
And you know, in Africa, we have different duties for the boys and for the girl. Like if you're the boys, you have to look after cattle, cows.
Okay.
The girl, they are stay home with their mama, help them.
Okay.
When the government come and attack the village, we were out.
You were what?
We were outside with the cattle.
Okay.
And then we see smoking and shooting. We run back to the village. There's nobody there.
Everybody's gone.
Everybody's gone.
When you say gone, I mean they ran away or?
They ran away. Everybody ran different directions.
So why did the government attack the villages?
Because the way I understand it, like I told you earlier, that the government want everybody to believe what he believes.
Okay, so more or less like a communist
Like
setting,
communist.
imposing.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened to you when you discovered, you know, that your village is burning and everybody had fled and you were 9 years old? Then what happened?
Then we keep crying.
Okay.
And then there's nowhere we can go. And then we just came together as a boy and we walked away from the country.
So you didn't see your father, you didn't see your mother?
I didn't see my mother, I didn't see my brother, my sister, I didn't see any one of them.
Okay, then how did you see your friends?
The friend, they ran away from different direction and we ran away from this different direction, then we met.
Okay, how
On
many were you?
It was a lot of us, maybe 300 to 400.
300 to 400 boys?
Yes, in the village.
And Steven, were you one of them?
Actually, I was one of them. When we gathered, we were like, he came from his own village and I came from my own village. Actually, we are in the same, we from the same county.
Okay.
So when we meet, is like I met you a while ago. So I came in different direction and he came in different direction, and we were facing the same situation. So by then, we were just, everybody come out in different directions. So we met in some days, the United Nations show up because it seemed that this kid, we were kid actually, nobody taking care of us. So when they were seeing it, that their life is getting worse, because these people, they were looking for boys.
Why were they looking for boys, young boys?
Because the boys are the problem, because when you grown up, you will fight them. And they were turning a boy, if you are a boy, you have to be a Muslim. If not, they have to kill you.
Are you for real?
Yes.
Of course, you have to be punished for that, either you like it or not.
So if you don't become a Muslim, then you die?
Yes.
You will be killed. Otherwise, sometimes if you're lucky, you can't even get a chance to go nowhere. You will be locked up.
So your group of boys came together.
Yes.
Yes.
And you decided, you were 9 years old, you were very young.
Yes.
And you decided, we're not going to be Muslims.
We're
not going to go with the government.
Yes.
No.
We're going to just stay on our own.
Yes.
So where were you guys staying? Or what did you do?
We were just running randomly, like going to the bush, because hiding for them, because there's no way you can escape. If you stay in the village, they keep coming. They send more every night, actually. So they don't even come like daytime, they come at nighttime, because that's whereby they will find everybody in the same area. So we were just scared, hiding ourselves.
That's interesting. When I had Santino talk about, share this testimony some weeks ago, what really got me is when you said you guys walked.
We walk,
You walked from Sudan to Ethiopia. It's just like
Ethiopia.
walking from Texas to Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
Tell us about that walk.
Okay, the time we ran away from the village, and then we gather, and we decide to leave the country. And we actually just heard about Ethiopia, but we never been there before. And we just follow direction. And the time we walk away from Sudan, it was really a hard time for us because we were 9 years old. There's nobody older than that. And that time we don't have food, we don't have water, and we don't even wearing shoes.
You walked without shoes.
We walk without shoes. And in Africa we have different things like snake, scorpion, everywhere. And that time we walked about 3 months to go to Ethiopia.
3 months.
3
You spent
months,
3
yeah.
months walking
3 months walking.
on your bare feet.
Yes. And that time most of the boys, they
Couldn't
died
make
on
it.
the way. They couldn't make it.
So some of your friends died.
Some they were died because there's no food. Some of them they died eaten by wild animal.
Did you see anybody eaten by wild animal?
Yes.
And you were 9 years old?
Yes. Because we have nothing to do. Even though your friend is eating by wild animal, there's no way you can help it. You're just waiting for your time. You said maybe this one is eating now, maybe next time my son. You don't know nowhere.
So you were just living with, I
With
don't know if
fear.
I'm going to be alive tomorrow.
Yes.
But whatever is in front of me today, well, I thank God.
I thank God for that.
How many, you guys started as how many when you worked for 90 days? How many were you when you started?
Especially in my village, we were more than 300.
By the time you got to Ethiopia after 90
By the time
days?
we met the other people on the way. Actually, it's increased. It's more than like 5 to 1,000. Yeah, and after we made it there, it's less than that made it there. Maybe
Because
like
people died.
like 400, 300 made it to it.
So more than
Ethiopia.
half died on the way.
Yes.
You know, viewers, I mean, we need to thank God in this country because, I mean, when you hear what other human beings are going through in other parts of the world, it's really, really, really something to cry about. I mean, can you imagine these boys at 9 years old without parents, without family, walking on their with their bare feet, no shoes for 90 days? It's just like walking from Dallas to Atlanta, Georgia. Can you imagine it? I'm just in a state of shock. It's perplexing. So I just, want us to always be grateful. Count your blessings every day because it could be worse. Okay. And then when you got to Ethiopia, what happened?
When we got to Ethiopia, we met the other boy who was going before us. Because there's a group going before us. And then we stayed there, especially me, I was there for 2 years.
Okay.
And then the war is started again in Ethiopia.
So in all this
back.
time, you haven't seen your parents?
No,
you don't know if they're alive?
I don't know they're alive or they're dead. I don't know. There's no way that we communicate with them. Then we ran back to the border in Sudan. And that time it was really a lot of lost boy in Ethiopia. It was about like 12,000.
So all of you kept running to Ethiopia
Yes.
for refuge?
That was the only way.
That's
That was the only way often,
Often.
So.
Wow, wow. This is really fascinating and I'm so thrilled to hear this. I mean, so that I as a human being, I'm challenged this evening, to go back home and just pray to God. I'm sorry for the times I complained. And I must commend the both of you. You guys are strong, strong guys. If you went through that at 9 years old, I don't think anything can faze you today. So thank you for sharing this with the viewers, and thank you very much. Well, viewers, you know how it is. Anytime we have the show with very awesome guests, time just keeps flying, and today is one of such days. But we're going to have Santino and Steven come back on the show, because they have a lot to share. I'm not going to rush them to tell us what they're doing in the States. We're going to save that for a later time for them to come back and share with us how they got airlifted from Ethiopia. Was it Ethiopia?
Yes.
Yeah, from Ethiopia to, was it straight to Dallas?
No,
We went back home.
You went back
Sudan.
home.
Yeah, but we didn't go to the village.
You didn't go back to the village.
It bordered between Ethiopia and Sudan.
Okay.
And then we came to Kenya.
You came to Kenya. So when they come back, because this testimony is too powerful to summarize, so we're going to leave it. That means you have to keep watching this station and watching the Mana Express show to see part 2 of this great interview. When they come back, they're going to share with us what happened, and you're going to see the miraculous hand of God and know that indeed, like Psalm 91 says, He's our Lord and our refuge. He's our God in whom we trust. You see how they sought refuge in the Lord and how He brought them to where they are today. So thank you very much for tuning in to Mana Express Show, and until next week, stay blessed.